Playful Pat and the Mischievous Leprechaun. By Lisa Kelly. Pat was known to be quite playful. When his big eyes sparkled and his little freckles twitched, you never knew what Pat would be up to next. One early morning before school, Pat woke up and got dressed quickly, of course just tossing his pajamas on the floor. He wanted to bring his red Matchbox car to school, but where could it be? It must be in the toy box, Pat thought. So he took all the toys out of the toy box, making quite the commotion. This woke up his sister Shannon, who saw the mess he made. "Pat, Mom will not be happy when she sees this mess after she spent all day cleaning your room," Shannon said. "I think it was that little leprechaun that did it," Pat replied. "Funny, Pat," Shannon said, using his nickname. Mom called the kids for breakfast, so they hurried to the table. They ate cereal, and Pat wanted some more, but his mom went to brush her teeth. Pat poured more cereal and spilled a lot out of the box. "Oops," he said. Shannon just shook her head. She could not believe how messy he could be. Pat's mom came back and said, "Pat, what have you done now?" "It was the leprechaun, Mom." "Very funny, Pat. Now go brush your teeth," Shannon stated. "That's not all, Mom. Wait until you see Pat's room." Mom said, "Don't tell me it was the pesky leprechaun again?" Pat brushed his teeth, and somehow toothpaste went all over the mirror and water all over the floor. His mom came in and said, "Was it the leprechaun again?" She asked Pat. "At least pick up your dirty clothes, Pat, and when you get home, you can put all the toys back where they belong. Now we have to go so you're not late to school." When Pat got home from school, he was so excited. He said that the teacher said for St. Patrick's Day they were going to make traps to catch the leprechaun. Pat was glad because that leprechaun sure got him in a lot of trouble. Pat and Shannon planned on how they would make the trap. Shannon said they needed lots of gold glitter to trick the leprechaun. They worked on the trap for days, and the day before St. Patrick's Day, they made the final touches to the trap. Pat thought the trap was foolproof, and he could not wait to meet the leprechaun. When Pat went to bed that night, he fell into a deep sleep, but in the middle of the night, he was woken by a sound. He turned on his nightlight and looked around the room. He noticed that the trap was shut, and the noise came from the trap. Pat was a little scared, so he went to get Shannon. Shannon was younger, but she was really brave. Shannon rubbed her eyes and said, "Pat, what do you want?" He said, "I think we caught the leprechaun." Shannon bounced out of bed and saw that the trap was closed. "Holy cow, Pat, did we catch him? It must have been all the glitter we used." Pat said, "Will you open the box?" Shannon went to the trap and peeked inside. There was a little man with red hair and a green suit on. He said, "Thank goodness you helped me out. I was scared I would be trapped forever." Pat said, "Well, maybe you should be. You sure get me in a lot of trouble when you made a mess in my room, spilled my breakfast, and squeezed the toothpaste too much." The little man laughed and said, "It is great fun, but you make my job so easy." Pat said, "Well, it makes my mom mad at me." The leprechaun said, "Well, sorry, but you know she still loves you." Pat was mad and crossed his arms across his chest. The leprechaun said, "Well, I am sorry, but that is my job." Shannon said, "My name is Shannon." And the leprechaun said, "My name is Larry." Shannon laughed. "Larry the leprechaun, how do you do?" Larry grinned and said, "Well, Shannon and Pat, since you caught me fair and square, I owe you a favor." "What would you like?" "Can we slide down the rainbow to the pot of gold?" Pat asked. Larry the leprechaun chuckled. Of course, hold on tight. With a sprinkle of leprechaun magic, Pat and Shannon found themselves at the top of a shimmering rainbow. They giggled with excitement as they slid down the rainbow, the wind whooshing past their faces. The ride was fast and filled with laughter. When they reached the bottom, they landed softly into a sparkling pot of gold. The children stared in amazement at the treasure before them. Larry said, "Remember, magic is all around you if you just believe." As soon as they went to pick up a piece of gold, Larry disappeared with the gold in a puff of glitter. Everything went fuzzy, and they suddenly found themselves waking up in their beds. The next morning, they told their mom they had seen the leprechaun. She smiled, thinking it was just another one of their imaginative tales. But Pat and Shannon knew the truth. They had caught the leprechaun, made a new friend, and had the most magical adventure ever. The end. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and leave your comments below. Let us know where you think Pat should go next or what Pat should learn about. The world is waiting, and the adventure begins now.